Hey, welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
Greetings, my excellent friends. My name is Jeff Fritz. Today is October 27th, 2019. We're going to write a little bit of code today. How's it going there, chat room? So good to see you. Thanks so much for tuning in. So bright and early on this fine Sunday morning here on the East Coast. I've got my Flyers hat on. Look at this. It's all beat up and all that because last night my Flyers beat those always tough Columbus Blue Jackets. Don't tell Carrie. Don't tell C-Payette if she comes in the chat room. We scored 4 unanswered goals late in the third period. It was amazing. So good. And my Penn State Nittany Lions continue and are undefeated. Oh my gosh. Sports here in the Fritz house yesterday was amazing. And the Philadelphia 76ers won. It was a 3-for-3 for Philadelphia folks here last night. We were so happy. Let me say hi to folks in the chat room. Sean, hey, good Sunday. Good to see you. That Onion, hello, hello. Retro CRT, good to see you. Love the rainbow bearded Octocat. We're not doing any GitHub work specifically today, but I want to show you some things that are going on over there and talk to you about some ideas that I have. When I was chatting with our friend Ninja Bunny 9000 over the weekend, we've got some ideas, something that might be fun to build together on stream here. M Stu, good to see you. Job NPA, Acrophobic Pixie, it is so good to see you. I'm so glad to see that you're tuning in. You're joining us again here this morning. Thank you so much. Let me do this. There we go. Finish running down the list here. Ancient Coder, happy Sunday to you. Yes. Little E Blaster, good morning, good afternoon. Great to see you. Thanks so much for tuning in. HR Book, hello, hello. Fedeka, T Tutko, wrong side of the state though. Let's go Pens. We haven't played the Penguins yet, but that's going to be a thing. That's totally going to be a thing there. Good to see you. 73S, 73R, hello, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Let me get some music playing here in the background, then let's talk about our project. And I want to talk to you about some of the conversations I had and what we're going to do to make things a little bit better here with our application and continue down down this path that we've been going with this distributed chatbot. We've built some RESTful APIs. I can talk to you about that in a second, HR book, and how we're going to use server-side Blazor, and we're going to make it more stateful, and we're going to have it reconnect and be able to manage the connection. I'm going to play Indigo. This is one of my favorites. There it goes. This is music to code by from our friend Mr. Carl Franklin. It's scientifically designed. It's engineered to get you in the groove, to get you in the flow, so that whatever task it is you're working on, you can focus on and just get stuff done. All your other worries kind of fade away because you're in the groove. You're in that state of flow that we try to get to. Check it out, mtcb.pwop.com. You can execute the music command in the chat room there, and you can learn more all about music to code by. Thank you so much, Carl, for letting us listen to your music here live on channel while we're writing code today. Oh, hi, streaming today. Yes, indeed, Caparino. Of course I am. It's Sunday. Well, just about every Sunday we stream together. Absolutely. Thank you, Ancient Coder, for running the music command there. MStew says, checked out Ninja Bunny's stream last night. Her setup is crazy. It is crazy cool. There is some really neat high-tech things that are happening there. She's got a real cyberpunk type vibe going on with all the things around her. And when she gets raided, raids on the Ninja Bunny stream are crazy. You thought my schedule was Monday through Friday, says Caparino. Nope. Tuesday through Friday and Sunday morning. And actually, Sunday morning is when we get most of our viewers. The numbers don't lie. You can check it out. The most viewers that we get, the most views that we get here on the channel are on Sunday mornings. That's just the way it is. It's really cool that happens, but that's a thing. Acrophobic Pixies in Pittsburgh. Oh, I'm so sorry. Kidding. Totally kidding. Hey, Janeski, good to see you. So I was talking to our friend Ninja Bunny, and we've got this idea. And I'll show you what this looks like in a second here. Let me, I'm going to minimize this. I'll leave this open and push it over here because we're going to talk about that in just a second. Minimize that. Let me show you what I made some slight adjustments here in my layout. So I moved my screen over so that it's tight against the left side, and I added a checklist above me here to list here are the things that we want to do today, and here's what we accomplish. That's actually Visual Studio Code just above me there, and I've made the background translucent so that you can see through it. What are you posting a link to, HR Book? Happy Sunday. Gonna put me on audio only while you pick up the kiddos from scout camping. Enjoy, Frackberg. Of course, you know I'm very descriptive on the things we're working on, so it's great to hear you. Thanks so much for tuning in. A link to what, HR Book? That you can certainly share a link, and the bot will report what it is, and if it's something inappropriate, you will be banned. You love the sound of my voice? Oh, thank you, Frackberg. My wife calls this the big voice. Okay, sure, whatever. Have I read .NET for Apache Spark? No. And it's not a topic that we're going to dive into today. But there are definitely folks that are working on that, and it's becoming a very important thing for folks to be able to do big data analysis with .NET, integrating with Apache Spark. But I have not read it, and it's not exactly my area of expertise right now. So, well, I'm glad you enjoy that, HR Book. So I have this checklist that's above us, and this is something that Ninja Bunny does on her stream, and I asked if she would mind if I did something similar here with that same technique. It's always polite to kind of ask, hey, I like this technique, do you mind if I use something similar on my stream? Nobody likes to be copied. Point blank. Acrophobic Pixie asks, how do you change the font in Visual Studio? I read that switching to Comic Sans makes finding errors easier. No, it doesn't. And you can redeem points here on channel to make me change my font to Comic Sans. It's real easy to find things like that inside Visual Studio. See the checklist there above me? This layout technique that she uses, and I'm adapting for our stream here. That's Visual Studio Code over here. Right? This is Visual Studio Code that you see here. That I've just I've color keyed out the background so that it's translucent. Here in Visual Studio, Acrophobic Pixie, to change the font, check this out. If you hit Control Q to get into this search box up here, you can just search for the word font, change fonts. Any feature in Visual Studio, you can type into that search box, and it will go find that feature and jump you right into the screen. You want for the text editor, you want to change that to whatever you'd like. If you want to change it to Comic Sans, there it is. You can do that, and away you'll go. So, thank you for the question. There's ways also to change the font in Visual Studio Code pretty quickly. And I'll show you that when we get over to Linux here in just a little bit. You want to make a RESTful API, says HR Book. Okay, cool. Caparino's Visual Studio 2019 takes up to 10 gig space for caching. Is this normal? Depends on how big your application is. Because it's going to be compiling and saving stuff to disk for intermediary stuff so that it can rebuild, test, all kinds of different things depending on how you're using it. It's not a coincidence that computer science and Comic Sans has the same abbreviation. Yeah, you're not wrong, says Frankus. You know, I should have highlighted that. Right, there's Frankus with that. Yes, that's pretty good. Well done, sir. Well done, Frankus. Cascadia Code is cool, says Janeski. It started snowing today. Yeah, it's getting cold and just ugly around here. Rainy and dreary, just terrible. So we ran into this problem. Let's talk about this for a second, about what's been going on. No sound, no video for me, just chat. Tim, everything's running fine here. Haven't dropped a frame yet. All right. We've run into this issue with the app, with our bot for state management. So what's happening is when we connect and we're using the bot, it's possible for the server to restart, and it puts up this ugly gray screen over our widgets, and it completely forgets the state of the application. This is bad. This is really bad. It's one thing if it's an application that somebody's connected into and using, and it's their accounting web application or something like that, or timekeeping, and it needs to reset. You need to just refresh and continue working again. That's not too bad to deal with. Thank you for the follow, Frankus. I appreciate you joining us. That's right. Folks can deal with that. The problem comes in when you're doing something stateful like these widgets that we're building. If that train stops in the middle of going across the screen and we get this gray screen instead of the train, that's a terrible experience. Nobody's going to want to use that. You guess unfollowing and following back doesn't grant extra points? No, it doesn't. Sorry about that. Stream Elements does remember past followers to a certain extent. It's not the best at counting, right? It did increment this, and Twitch has the correct number. So I end up having to reset this every now and again so that it's accurate. But 8547 is where we're currently at. I need to mail out some more stickers. I think I have 2 packs of stickers that I have to mail out. Every time this crosses a multiple of 100, we send out, we raffle off stickers here on stream. And I think I'm going to kick off I think I'm going to kick off this week. No, you know what? Let's make sure. Maybe when we get to 9,000, we'll do a bigger raffle. I have a Live Coders backpack and Live Coders keyboard that I want to raffle off. But we'll wait till we get a little bit further along here. So, yeah, we will give those away. But I don't think I want to do it just randomly for somebody in chat. I think we want to do this for a little bit more interaction there. Medium Alive, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. It looks like we get points for watching the recordings. This is your first live stream, and you have some points already. I usually have to watch the recordings. Well, thank you for joining us. Law Enforcer, nice. Nice, I see what you did there. Honey Pop, hello, hello. Yeah, you probably get points for watching the videos. You get points for being a follower. You get points for continuing watching live. If we're continuing a live watch streak, that will continue. So, Naomi, welcome. Good afternoon. So, yeah, Tim, it sounds like you might have an issue with your network connection. I don't know. So we have this really, this non-desirable behavior when the bot goes out of sync. Let me show you exactly what happens here. Let me jump over to, that's not it, over to our Linux VM. So we're working in Linux all month long with .NET, .NET Core, and we've had a really good time with it this month. The problem that we run into when the application is running, and I'm going to close down a bunch of this. I have everything connected, and it now does properly use Azure for storage. Hang on, I'm on the wrong branch. Let me jump over to this one, which means this should recompile. Here it goes. Katoli, welcome. Hello there. And Chris Jones, hello. I think we want to clean this up also, see if we can get this error cleaned up that we see right there. That looks weird. Oh, how do you pronounce it? Right, Naomi? How do you pronounce your name there? Nairm? Let me know. I'm happy to pronounce it however you'd like. Oh, I've got an error. Hang on. What did I do? Did I break something? While processing template. Oh, yes, this is something that I had to fix in the state controller. Yeah. All right, hang on. Let's go fix this. I have the format here for our templates. Right, this is what's called a route template. You stick. There it goes. And this is defining how we're going to listen on the web server for variables being passed in. So I'll just change that, and this will restart. Here it goes. And this is because I'm running .NET Watch, right? I'm running .NET Watch Run. So at the command line, every time there's a change to one of my files, it'll rebuild and rerun the application. You can also do this with, yes, with WPF and Windows Forms applications. No, it's quite all right. Honeypop says, I'm working on a state management library for Blazor that uses Redis to create sessions variables that persist for the user's browser session, even if refreshed. Wait do you see what I built here? Let me show you what the update that I've got here, and I think you're going to see we're on the same page. I'm going to log in, and this is going to route over through Auth0. Yes, log in with Twitch. And I'm back. If I go and I launch the widget, why isn't it opening? I know why it's not. T-Tutco, thank you so much for 2 months of subscriptions.
Subscribed for 2 months.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And we'll make a donation to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Very much appreciate that. Circuit host. Value cannot be null. Yes, connecting to... So, I need to change a provider over here. I built out a provider. Where'd it go? Up in here. Widget persistence, connection string. Yes. This goes through to iWidget state repository now. And I built a thing. I started down building SQLite and having a connection here, and this felt weird. It's not going to do it. It's not going to work right now. I need to change. Rats. I wanted to show you what that gray screen looked like, but it's not going to do it. Actually, what I can do, hang on. Yeah, I'm toast. The application's dead because it hit an error. So there's a whole nother problem, right? When there's an error, the application just goes dead. So if I change something in a file over here, and I want it, and it starts restarting, see how everything gets this gray overlay and it says attempting to reconnect, and that happens immediately. Well, now this is a bad experience for folks, right? Meanwhile, right, this is all done, and it always says could not reconnect. And you have to force a reload and eventually, but if somebody has that as a widget embedded in OBS, you can't click reload. That's annoying, that's a problem. How do we fix that? Yay, errors, that's right. Am I planting trees too? No, I'm not doing the tree planting thing. I know that's a thing. Compile Nick says Ubuntu has RDP server support. Well, I'm running inside of Hyper-V. When you install the Hyper-V extensions for Linux, it does get RDP support. So it is possible to put it down. I'm not sure how you would do it if you're not running inside of Hyper-V. All right. One of the things you hate about Blazor Server-Side, if an error happens, nothing works until you refresh. So here's how we're working around this. Let me change over. Let me change over to the branch that I was working on for the last 2 days. Please commit your changes. Wah. I don't care because I'm going to end up merging in the correct fix. Thank you. So now it's going to rebuild and run, and I need to change provider now because I'm running over here to Json. Go over here. Yep, Json. Good. That'll work. So what I ran into and what I was talking to some friends about, there you go. Brave Cobra has a solution for you. You can install XRDP into any Linux distro, and you'll be able to RDP, remote desktop, into it like I am here, and from Windows be able to control a Linux machine. Wanna Paradise asks, why am I using Visual Studio Code? I'm using Visual Studio Code because I'm in Ubuntu 18.04, and I like all the cool features and things that Visual Studio gives me, but because I'm running on Linux, I'm going to run Visual Studio Code so that I get that as close to that full experience as possible. It's the most popular code editor right now in the world, so let's use it. So, and of course, it's completely free. It's open source. You can download at code.visualstudio.com. Meshuggah Sahin, hello, welcome. Blazor, Mr. Magoo, good afternoon to you, my friend. So, what I ran into and what I spent some time talking to our friends on the, where'd it go? I'm looking for there we go. Spent some time talking to our friends on the Blazor team and on the SignalR team. And I'm running into this issue where I've got to address state management and how do I reconnect to the server when Blazor takes a powder there, right? When that gray screen comes up, that's a pain in the neck. So there's a couple different ways that you can persist across what they call the circuit. So Blazor Server-Side has a connection that it creates to the server, and this connection it listens to and it maintains state in memory on the server. So how do we get data? It's sending data back and forth across that as you interact with the website. Well, if the server restarts for some reason, like I deploy a new version of the application, the circuit breaks because the site restarts. Well, when the site restarts, all that memory goes away. So I need to remember my application state. And this is where we need to figure out, well, how do I better maintain that application state? Honeypop, I appreciate what your comment there. I'm gonna have to deny it though, because we don't like using. We want to be family friendly here, but you're right. It persists until you refresh. Yeah, I appreciate you rephrasing there. Not a problem here. Let me put that. I'll put that message up here now. By default, the connection only persists until you refresh. An error happens or a restart. Right. If you refresh your browser, you get a new connection and a new state interaction. So a couple different things are happening there, and it's the same thing that would happen if you were running a client-side JavaScript application as well. We need to reestablish all of our content, all of our server-side content. We need to reestablish state. So what do we do with that? There's a couple different ways that you can do that. What I'm going to do is, right, you can, there's this article here that says, well, here's what you can do, right? The server can't retain a disconnected circuit forever. Right, okay. It'll if the browser goes away and comes back, it'll try to reconnect as best it can, but it may not because of memory pressure. In a multi-server load-balanced environment, any server processing requests may become unavailable at any given time. Individual servers may fail or be automatically removed when no longer required, blah, 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 blah. You need to be coupled to the server that you're running on in order for this to persist. So in a multi-server scenario, you're always going to be sticky on that one server instead of possibly getting content delivered from other servers. And that's a problem too. The user might close and reopen the browser or reload the page, which removes any state held in the browser's memory, just like Honeypop was just saying. So they're gone. Well, it can be scalable. Why do you have state on both sides? What's the benefit? Well, there's benefit because if for some reason there's a disconnection, we can reestablish connection and we can reestablish and state on both sides, right? So this is actually a very good thing that you want to have inside of larger scale client server, very stateful applications. Hey, JAF 1021 is here.
Hey, Ma! We get some meatloaf!
Yeah.
We want it now! The meatloaf!
Yeah. We could.
Doing?
I don't know.
I never know what she's doing.
Yeah. We're gonna go get some meatloaf. How's it going? Good to see you. Is it persisted or in memory? So it is in memory. And that's right, that's why you run into these scenarios here, is that state that's being managed right now by server-side Blazor is only in memory. So how do we get it pushed out of memory so we can interact with it? Thank you for the follow. Akido Nof, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the tacos, Lennon. And it's okay that the number's down. It's going to come back up. Folks are asking questions, and it's I think it's misinterpreting some of those, and I'm okay about that. So how do you preserve state across these circuits? Honeypop, thank you.
Honeypop just resubscribed for 2 months. 2pop.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Akito says, I can imagine that it would play inside a distributed key value store that the multiple server... There you go. If the web server becomes unavailable or the user's browser is forced to restart a new circuit, well, how do you get that back? Here's some possible things. Where to persist state, server-side in a database. Yes. On the URL, sure, you could do that. Or client-side in the browser. I think we're going to do a little bit of these two. Inside the URL feels weird. There you go. Just like Akita was saying in the key value store. What do you see what I got here? So I've got a couple different ways to do this. Client side, you can use the local storage or session storage objects that are in the browser, right? These are key value stores that every browser has now as part of the HTML5 standard, right? Your browser has a database built into it. Bet you didn't know that. And you can interact with it. Well, I'm not necessarily going to use that to start here. There are some third-party browser storage solutions that allow you to work directly with these things, and that's fine. Protected browser storage experimental package, blah blah blah. Okay, fine. That's wonderful. Great. Glad you can do that. Eventually, this might make sense for us, but I want to persist server-side between restarts. So, what I've done, blah 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 blah. It's not anything here. So how do we do this? What do we do? So what I did, hey, come on back here, my Linux VM, is I wrote, it's BTTV. What did BTTV do? What do you got there, Lannon? Did I miss something? Currently using normal sessions to store persistent data. You could do that. How's that different from any other API storing stuff in a database? It's the same. It's just trying to fast track it a little bit. Trying to make it a little bit easier. Fritzbot has a bot badge with BTTV. Oh. It does. Oh, it does. Well, that's interesting. I didn't put that there. Well, that's fun. So, getting back to this. So what I did was I wrote a interface called the Widget State Repository. We started this last time, I believe. That just has the ability to get and set data. For this channel, for this widget name, go get for me the configuration stuff for it. That's the only time that I care about the persistence for this application. The state of the widgets as they're coming and going, because I cannot break the way that those are operating inside the browser. So go get those settings, and also for this channel, for this widget, save these settings. Makes sense. Pretty straightforward. So I wrote two implementations of the widget state repository. I have one up here that will connect and save data using Azure tables. Pretty easy to do. I get Azure tables using a connection string. I created a table called widget state. Create if it doesn't exist, and return the table. And I will either return a new dictionary if there isn't any data there, or I'll return the result as a dictionary. I'll save it by persisting it right here. Pretty easy. Not too bad to go through. And Zeratar with the raid! Oh my goodness. Raiders, welcome on in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh yes, here comes the raid. Your internet connection got borked. I'm sorry. Oh yes, here comes the raid. Look out. Nicole BB, hello. Oh my gosh. Look at the meat. Look at these meatballs coming in here. What is this? Yes, defend the channel. MBB with the gift subs.
Boy just gifted 5 subs.
Thank you so much for that. We've got a raid. We've got gift subs. Oh my goodness. Meatloaf is better than meatball. Well, perhaps. Abby Cottontail, thank you for the follow. DES, thank you for the follow. And then here they all come. Oh my goodness. Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you so much for joining us. Compile next. Woohoo, indeed. Join, follow along. Absolutely. Join the train. Oh my gosh. Thank you very much, Raiders. Hey, my name is Jeff Fritz. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're working on a distributed chatbot today using .NET and Blazor. Blazor is a technology, component-based user interface technology that we can use to make our applications using C# and some HTML templating that's really, really productive. And I want to share some of the information that we're working on with you. And show you how easy it is to use some of these things. If meatloaf equals Italian meatloaf, meatloaf is greater than meatball. Okay. Svava! Right there.
Terminator 20 bonus to what mischief?
Oh, have you seen all this mischief that's going on here? It's insane. We just got a raid. Thank you so much. Zeratar was officially renamed to Sarah 5 minutes ago by his own oh my goodness.
Retro_CRT just resubscribed for 6 months.
Thank you so much, Retro. I appreciate the resub. And I want to make sure that I thank MBB for those gift subs. Let me announce: Killer Kiz, Law Enforcer, Ashdev, Geek Mozzie, is that Puckpaw? Thank you so much. You've got gift subscriptions thanks to MBB, and we're going to make donations to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, just like we do for all of our subs, all of our cheers here on channel. Thank you so much. Everybody's going to get 17 emotes that you can use everywhere here on Twitch, all kinds of tech-themed things, including a rainbow-bearded paperclip. You remember Clippy from Microsoft Office? Will you get one with a rainbow beard? Rainbow-bearded Octocat, the GitHub Octocat, and a whole bunch of robots that are attacking and shielding, all kinds of stuff. For the kids, indeed, Moist Booty Boy. Thank you so much for that. There's Lannon with our rainbow-bearded Clippy. Thank you so much. You're not a Microsoft person? That's okay. There's other robots and things in there that you might enjoy. And to be perfectly frank, we're mocking the Octocat and the paperclip by putting a rainbow beard on them. M-Stew with 5 gift subs! Holy crow!
Just gifted 5 subs.
Thank you so much for those 5 gift subs. We'll make some more donations, and we're going to give gift subs to Ops Shooter, CanLab, Ratchet08, Little Dan 45, and Sneaky Gamer. Congratulations, you just got some gift subs. 17 emotes, and we'll make those donations. Advertisements are turned off for you now on the channel, and you get to throw emotes at my face. Want a paradise? It's not considered proper etiquette to ask for a gift sub like that. So let me show you. I have... Here we go. Running out here in Azure is where I have the state for our widgets being persisted when it runs in the cloud. I have a table here called widget state, and I can actually browse through this. This is using Azure storage, so I have these tables out here that are key value store. And you can browse this using the new storage explorer that's inside the browser here. I'll open up the table. And you'll see I have one record here, user. So my partition key is the name of the channel. I have a row key that is the name of the widget. And here's my payload. Here's the content that's been loaded. So I'll double click so we can see that here. Let's see, there we go. So it's just a JSON array, right? A JSON key value pair here. I don't care what the value of this is. I'm not searching based on a value inside this. I'm searching for this channel, this widget that I need to load data for. So that's where I'm persisting my data in between restarts when I'm actually running on the cloud. When our application runs locally, I have another provider that I can use, right? So I'm swapping out providers here that just saves a JSON file to disk. Real simple text format, that JavaScript object notation that's written and we can take a look at. So, Zeratar, what were you working on there on your channel before you came over for the raid? That was really cool. I very much appreciate the raid. Rainbow bearded indeed, Net Cody's. Let's see. Welcome, Dalek. What does Azure offer for key value stores? So you saw a little bit of that's table storage, right? Premium table storage. There's also MongoDB available for you. There's a geographically redundant key value storage called Cosmos DB that you can use as well. It's a little bit more expensive to use that because you're going to get that geographical redundancy and replication being sent out there. The table storage, because I'm not actively reading and writing in and need complete ACID transactions, right? And if you're a relational database person, you know what I mean by ACID transactions. You don't need all of those capabilities. That key value store that you get with Azure Table Storage is good enough. So, AWS DynamoDB is also very good. Yes, it is. There's providers on all the cloud services. I like Azure, so this is the one that I'm using. So, happy Sunday. Thank you, Devil Dog Tech Nerd. Thanks so much. MBB asks, let me bring this up because this is kind of important. Let me scroll down here. Where'd it go? Did Microsoft fix the bug we were running into when we were trying to switch active Azure accounts without logging out? Not only did they not fix it, it's now worse and in production. And I have voiced my displeasure quite loudly to them, and let's see if they fix it. But if you have multiple Azure accounts and you try to switch accounts, it fails miserably. You can't even log out at this point. Good luck. Yeah, the only way that I can use Azure right now is to go into a private browser window and start that. Start an Azure portal connection. So I am none too pleased with that. Acrophobic Pixie. I thought ACID was a music programming software formerly by Sony. No. ACID is a database transaction. It's a set of properties or database transactions intended to guarantee validity even in the event of errors, power failures, etc. It's an acronym. Let me get the ACID acronym. It stands for atomicity. Is it atomicity? Yeah. Consistency, isolation, and durability. It says that we want to have transactions that always complete and always properly get into a database and get stored and saved to disk. So it is quite frustrating. MBB, I completely agree with you. Azure is good, yes. However, just like with any other group of developers and folks that are building software, they have to see all the edge cases, all the scenarios in which their software is being used in order to properly handle all of those things. And I don't think they caught what happens here when you have multiple accounts on their own service. And I've filed a number of bugs about this. I've shown it a number of times here on video, and we'll see if they fix it. But bugs happen, and we'll see them get around it. So it is all of the above: regular programming term, music programming term, and a mind-altering drug. Oh my gosh. Well, no, database engineer is not doing ACID. No. And Acrophobic Pixie, not only is it regular programming term, a music programming term, and a mind-altering drug, it's a way that you can wash your jeans. Right? No? That's totally a thing. Okay. So, you're an hour later for us. Oh my gosh, yes. You're on winter time. We're here in the States. We tick over to standard time zone notification here in just a little bit. So we're about a week or two out. Had an issue on Azure where it would lock your personal Outlook email when using my work Outlook email to access Azure. Yes, that's exactly what I'm seeing, Honey Pop. Yes.
Oh my.
This is precisely the problem that I'm having. And there's nothing we can do. You have to log in with a private browser, right? So that it doesn't remember any of your cookies, any of your persistent data information, which makes it a pain in the neck when you want to go back and use Azure and pick up where you left off. How am I displaying the messages on the screen? Says MBB. You mean like that? This is called featured.chat. This is from our friend Lucky Number 7. Check out that link. And this is a way for you to see chat and be able to choose messages. A couple of folks here have moderator access over there. You can click through and moderators can queue up messages that as a broadcaster we can choose to put on screen and talk through. What is that fancy to-do list? So up above me, that's actually just Visual Studio Code sitting there. So, there's a couple different things. I was talking to our friend Ninja Bunny about this. There's a couple different things that we can do to make that easier to manage and interact with. We were thinking we can hook into GitHub projects and be able to pull information out of columns, and depending on the state of which column things are in, put checks or canceled or where they appear in the to-do list above us. It seems that just below the follower goal progress bar there is text rendered that is mostly not visible. Yes, compile next. The font size that I've set here for this bar, I've told the Stream Elements folk, it doesn't remember the font size. It's still not remembering the font size. And it's not resetting it properly. Oh my gosh, Kane the Game. I'm sorry, I didn't see your let me go back to that. Kane the Game asks, let me go back to it. My apologies. I try and make sure I catch those questions. So many questions and comments coming in here. I'm looking for it. Where did it go? There it is. Thank you for the follow. The Artifacts and the Morning Sci-Fi appreciate the follows. Kane the Game asks, I mentioned I'm using database storage in Azure. Which one? I'm using Azure Table Storage is what I'm using. Let me flip back over there so you can see. So this is what's called an Azure Storage account. And an Azure Storage account has 4 different types of storage that you can use. You can store in file shares. You can create a queue. First in, first out, so you can pull things out of the queue and send them somewhere else. You can have blob containers, which are pretty much like file storage. Very similar in structure. And you can also have tables. Tables allow us to have a partition key and a row key. 2 keys that you can use to search for and pull out data. And I have a field hanging off the side here called payload. So in my case, I'm going to get data that I'm persisting in for widgets based on the channel that is active and the widget that I'm getting data for. And I want to get that payload and put it down in my application so I can parse through and use it. So that's what I'm using because I don't need very complex data storage here. MindRight says you can also use run a VM for the alternate identity and switch between them. I resorted to that when I needed to be able to switch hats quickly and repeatedly. Yes, you could do that as well. I've seen folks also use multiple profiles in their browser to bounce back and forth. Yes. What makes I choose Azure versus other cloud infrastructure as a service platforms? Asks Akido. I work for Microsoft and I have free Azure storage. Free Azure capabilities. I have access to the folks on Azure and to be able to give them feedback and to talk about things. So it works out quite nicely. So, actually, the Artifacts has a comment here. At work and hoping someone in chat might be able to advise on C# hash sets. What about them? They're a thing. Devil Dog Tech Nerd asks, any insights on the Jedi contract and what exactly and how exactly Microsoft pulled the win on that? None. Zero. I'm not involved in sales. I know nothing about the Jedi contract. For those of you outside the States, the Jedi contract is a large military contract with the United States government for a cloud provider. It was being shopped around. Google, IBM, AWS, and Azure were all bidding on this. And late Friday, it was announced that Microsoft won this very, very lucrative contract. I have no insight on that, but you can see more about that in the news. I am not involved in sales, and I cannot comment on that. I can tell you that wow, in after hours trading, the Microsoft stock went up. That's about it. That's about all I can say about it. If there was something that I could say, if I had any kind of insight into the features and the things that they might be using, I would be as transparent as I could be about it. But honestly, it's outside my realm of influence. Hey, Copper Beardy, hello. Can I hook up Honey Pop with 5,000 in free credits? No, sorry. Thank you for the follow, Super Teabag. Snoopaloopy has a good question here. How do those storage types differ from Azure Cosmos DB? Azure Cosmos DB is more like I'm in the wrong browser. Is more like MongoDB, where it's an in-memory replicated database that folks use, but it's replicated across regions, so it has all of those ACID transactions with the power of key value store and an in-memory database, and replicated geographically. Very, very fast, and tremendous features behind it. Impressive win. Thought they already decided with Amazon. Nope. And the way that the president was talking about Amazon, I'm sure that had some influence as well. The way the president was talking about Amazon. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing that the president may have influenced it. Yeah. VSC or VS for C# asks K Fangs. Oh my gosh, so many good questions here today. Let me scroll back up to that one. Drop that in. So VSC, I believe you're referring to Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio for C#. I prefer full Visual Studio. Visual Studio Code is very small, very lean, very fast, runs great on Windows, Mac, and Linux. If you don't want the full overhead of an IDE, of an integrated development environment, go for it. Go get Visual Studio Code. It's really, really good. Honeypop asks, which department do I work in? I work in .NET, and I specialize in community education and outreach, specifically planning and building events like Microsoft Ignite, Microsoft Build, Microsoft MVP Summit. I help manage all of those events and the content for developers at those events. You like Vim? Fantastic. Yeah, I like Vim as well at Keto. Wasn't Microsoft working on making Visual Studio Code directly available in the browser? There are some folks on Azure that have made the Visual Studio Code shell available in the browser. Yes. Shukian. Let's see. Says at work they use Visual Studio for C# and VS Code for front end. That's a pretty good idea. That's pretty good. There was a thing called Visual Studio Online, Janeski, yes. But that Doesn't really exist anywhere. Devil Dog asks, does Visual Studio 2019 work with Jupyter Notebooks? No, but Visual Studio Code does. DMG Row, what's the best way of learning coding? Write code. Start writing code. Break something. That's hands-on. Get hands-on with writing code, and you'll learn better. You wish Visual Studio had that. Sorry. Emmet in VS Code is really good for front end. Oh, you're asking about Emmet in Visual Studio. There is a plugin that will get you Emmet in Visual Studio. That is available. There is an extension that will give you that. All right. I've answered a lot of questions. It's 11 o'clock. Let me get back into our project here. So I'm now persisting data back and forth in either JSON files or on Azure tables. So different ways that we can do that. And for those of you that like VI or Emacs, you can get those. You can get plugins for Visual Studio Code that'll give you those same key bindings in Visual Studio Code if this is the way you prefer to work. So, so I've got this wired up. The next thing that I ran into is, well, how do I get that connection? How do I make that gray screen go away that happens with Visual Studio? I'm sorry, that happens with Blazor. So there isn't any work being done by the Blazor team on this. But what does happen when you run into a disconnection, there is an element called Components Reconnect Modal that Blazor Server-Side will go look for, and it'll set a state on it, a class on it. One of these 4 classes. Show the user interface because we lost connection. Hide the user interface, that user interface, because we got connection back. The connection failed, change the state, do something else. And we can attempt to reconnect by calling Blazor window.blazor.reconnect. We got to keep that one in mind. Components reconnect rejected. The reconnection was rejected. The server was reached but refused to be connected, and the user's state is gone. We're going to now need to call location reload to reload the page and make things work again. So this is the most destructive experience because we don't want to force somebody's browser to reload if we don't need to. We want to attempt to reconnect if possible. So, yes, the Monaco editor is the name of the editor, the Visual Studio editor. The Visual Studio Code editor. All the stuff that you see here out around the outside of Visual Studio Code is the Monaco editor. That is completely open source and available if you want to go and grab it and put it in your own application. That is available for you. Honeypop says, I've experienced that these classes get added and removed very unreliably. Well, there's a little bit of that. That's different from Janeski. That's different from Visual Studio Online was the old name for Azure DevOps. Different thing. I've experienced, yes. Okay. All right. Let me get back into this now. So I have ways now I've written ways to persist data back and forth between server restarts. Man, we're going to get back into this, I promise. So how do we get that reconnection? How do we start working with it? So that, and I got to close some of these things here. My apologies. Don't need that. Okay. So the widget that we have here for the follower train runs inside this. That's not it. Runs inside this. There it is. So it's got all this HTML mixed with C# to lay out a follower train is what we have it doing now. But we've also got a C# model that runs server side that has all the things for it. And I've simplified this a little bit. I've taken some things out of here. But as it receives information, let me scroll down. Where is it? As this receives information about a new follower, it will save the state of the followers using this current state object that is the current counter when the first follower came through that it was tracking and the most recent follower that it was tracking. So I know how to reset that train, where to place it, the time that it has left to complete that train going across the screen to continue working. So I'm still running into this issue of, well, how do I get the Blazor bits reconnected? Oh my goodness, what's going on there? All right, I'm going to assume that you have that done. Yes, Zen Coding. That's Zen Coding is the name of the extension in full Visual Studio. Thank you. All right, so let me get back up here. Inside of... Did I just change something? I think I just changed something. That's better. Okay. Inside of my application, I added... Where'd it go? Here. I added that components reconnect modal, and I just put some bogus text in here just so that I could see what it has. Right? Let me put a character term there so you can see it. All right. So Fritz is trying to reconnect, and I have it starting off with the class Reconnect Hide, and I added into my CSS if it's saying to hide, well, turn off display none on that div. If it's telling me to show, we'll display it as block. I'll eventually turn this over to display none as well. But for right now, as I'm building and debugging, just show me what's in there. No. So I included that. I also wrote this widget support JS down here. And this is a JavaScript file that is going to help establish and maintain that connection. Let me show you what's happening over here. This is based on some code that I got from our friends on the Blazor team. So what I'm running into, it's an official Twitch function currently on test. What is? Oh, the Fritz bits. Yes, that is a Twitch thing. It is a single emote and it is randomly chosen. You keep it for just 24 hours. So, Sika player. Oh my gosh, here comes a raid. First off, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow, biscuits. Welcome, raiders. Thank you so much for that raid, Sika player. Welcome on in. My name is Jeff Fritz, and we're writing some code today to manage connections using server-side Blazor with .NET Core and ASP.NET Core. So this way, our widgets are things that are inside the browser when the server gets restarted for whatever reason. Maybe there's a new deployment of the service. Maybe the server needs to restart for whatever reason. We can maintain connection. So we're working on that today. Sika player, what's going on there? What were you doing over there on your stream? Let us know. And can I get a shout out for Sika player in the channel? Nicole asks, any comments about data science? I don't have any comments about it. It's a big deal. A lot of folks are doing it. I'm not a data scientist. I very much appreciate that data science capabilities and learnings are being made available to folks that are programmers like me through frameworks and tools like ML.NET and through the Python libraries that are out there, TensorFlow, these things. It's really great to see those very high-end features that folks that are a heck of a lot smarter than me have built and understand. They're making those algorithms available to folks so that we can take advantage of those capabilities to make our applications better. Sika Player was working on an app that you were talking about in Discord. Well, what was the app you were... Tell us a little bit more about it so we can talk about it and encourage folks to come find you. Case says, just an idle question for later on. What's my favorite offbeat programming language? I don't have a favorite offbeat programming language. We're making a sockets implementation kind of thing. So that's actually on the hunt. That's actually what SignalR, ASP.NET SignalR, does for us. It is a wrapper on top of WebSockets, and it will step down to other technologies if WebSockets isn't available for some reason. So this way you always get that live two-way communication between server and client. SignalR provides that, and because it's an abstraction over it, when the next technology comes along, maybe it's, it's foo connection, maybe it's live foo, I don't know, whatever that next thing is that comes out in 2025, if you're still using SignalR, they'll add that into the APIs, and SignalR will just adapt and use foo sockets or whatever it is in the future, and you just get to reap the benefit of that because you're using an abstraction. Fantastic. That's fantastic. Solid rigidity step. It's flexible, yeah. Sika Player is working on an app that when you slide a range, it shows you an image based on the position of the slide, and then at the bottom of the page, you get the image results as well. Neat. Thank you for the follow, Xeons. Appreciate that. And thank you for the follow on the hunt. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you joining us here. So what we're doing here, when that component's Reconnect modal object changes, we're creating a mutation observer, which is an object that's now available to you in the DOM, in your web page, so that you can watch an object. And when that object, that part of the page changes, do something. So we're going to watch, and I have a whole bunch of test code that I was working on down here. I'm actually going to get rid of this. I don't need this anymore because I'm done working through that. I'm telling it, observe that Reconnect node, that component's Reconnect modal element that's on screen. When an attribute changes or anything inside of any of the child parts of that, when any of that changes, do something. Well, we're going to look at the list of changes, and when it's an attribute called class that changes, and that class that was changed is one of these: Reconnect failed, Reconnect rejected, or Reconnect show, right? When that array includes the name of the class that was set, we're going to log, we detected the disconnect attempting to reconnect, stop the observer, and attempt to reload. And we're going to set an interval that says try it every 10 seconds to reconnect. So what it does is it's going to fetch, try to get to the server. If we can, and if we get to the server, if we can't, it's going to fail out here and fail silently. But if we do get to the server, refresh the web page. Location reload the current page that we're on. So that's what I'm trying to make it do. Gotta head to lunch, Sika Player. Take care. Have a good one. Yes, Stelzy, it is JavaScript. It is, and let me show you how this behaves now when things change, when things interact in the browser. So it's going to restart here, no problem. We'll see what this looks like. Yep. And I think I'm really close to having this working. Now that I've explained to you everything that I did in the last day or so here, figuring this out. There we go. So I'll go back over to my browser. I will force a reload of this, and you can see the page is reloading here in the background. There's all my information, right? This is development information, so I can see what's coming back from my claims, from my login. I'm going to click through to configuration and click into that train. So there's my follower train object. If I open a new browser here and I go back to localhost, I can kind of force the train to start by just passing in some different folks here. and it'll create additional cars on that train. You see the number increase. So, great, right? There's my train. This would be my widget crawling across the screen to indicate, hey, we've got followers. We want to encourage those folks. But if my code changes right now, it would try to restart the browser, right? And this was the same thing that would happen if I deployed a new version of the application. So if I just put a space in here, that .NET watch is going to detect, oh, there was a file change. It's going to kill the server and restart. Well, now you see my message, Fritz is trying to reconnect, pops up. It's still trying to go across the screen. Yes, it's JavaScript. But eventually it's going to be able to reconnect to the browser, to the server, and it should reload. But it doesn't quite get working again. Look at what's happening here. And this is where I left off, and here's where I need your help, chat room. It's not getting exactly everything coming back. If I try to refresh again now, it still doesn't come back with everything. If I open a new browser here and I just go right to the root, that works. Refresh over here, and now it loaded my state. It remembered my state and it put the counter appropriately over here, but I need to restart the train and get it in the right position going across the screen so that it remembers going across how to work there. Thank you for the follow. Is that D Johnny W or is that DJ on you? Let me know. Thanks so much for the follow. Hey, Bluetooth FX, good to see you. Rubber ducky debugging technique, except Twitch chat is your rubber ducky. No. The Twitch chat, I think, is extremely helpful to show and talk about these various things here. Yes, it is. Smarthy, #1 fan. So is the JavaScript both necessary and sufficient for doing modals? The trick here is we need to have the code executing in the browser when the browser is disconnected from the server. So I do need that script in the browser and able to kick in and pick up and operate. I could do this with WebAssembly code. I could absolutely have Blazor WebAssembly code run and do some of this. I would still need to interact with the DOM, which means I would still call into JavaScript. And the horses are active today. They really are all about this. So that's definitely a thing that we need to keep an eye on. I don't know. So, no, you don't need a rubber duck suit. No. So, let's talk about this. Let's take these next couple steps here. I want to scroll up and show you the error that it gets when it tries to just force the refresh. And, right, it's doing this force refresh instead of that Blazor Reconnect. I think we need to try doing the Blazor Reconnect and see what happens here. I don't think it'll reconnect properly, but we'll see. Here's the error that comes up. Right, there's the fail. So here's what's happening when it refreshes. Nobody does not provide. Uh-oh. All right. Inside my user activity train model, so it's refreshing properly my widget. It's trying to get the widget configuration on line 88. So I have a feeling what's happening here. So line 88, let me go to that. Line 88. Channel configuration. So it's trying to get the channel configuration actor that I have inside of Akka.net. I'm using Akka.net and the actor framework to manage all of my business logic interacting with the Twitch chat and Twitch services. That was easy for me to say. Smarthy #1 fan was going to print some ancient emperors and gods for rubber ducks. Oh, that'd be cool. When the server comes back, is it not logging into the application again? It's still connected, right? We still have state in the browser. What I think is happening is the configuration actor isn't properly starting up and becoming available for us. Nobody does not provide... Hang on, let me put Stelzy's comment up here on the screen so you can see it. Stelzy says, nobody does not provide, so somebody does provide it? Yes, somebody provides it, Stelzy. What's happening? Let me scroll down here. I think I know what's going on. I think I do. Let me go up here. Inside my startup class, this is the class that fires when an ASP.NET Core application restarts. It configures all the services necessary to run the application. And I've refactored this a little bit so that it's a little bit easier to find the various things that are going on here. Thank you for the follow, Farah Dev. Welcome. Appreciate you joining us, and I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. So what's happening here, if I follow this, it goes and creates the channel manager actor. It creates this actor that will run all of my services, and until there's a request against the web page and it loads everything, this thing doesn't actually start. So channel manager actor, it down here, there it is. Here's the channel configuration actor that actually contains the configuration that this is requesting right here. So it's not being injected. This doesn't know where to get those things, right? Let me show you. Channel actor ref, right, is going into the actor system and saying, hey, go get me the channel configuration, which is, where'd it go? Wait, I can just control click through that. Jumps me right into that. So it doesn't know where to get that, but it does after it gets started. So when I did that refresh, right, that bot fetch location, it didn't actually restart and run and deploy all of these things yet, which is a pain in the neck. So how do we do that? How do we get that out there and running? Right? So this comes out of there, bot configuration, channel. I need to, right? Channel, channel manager actor, this one. So this is the top of our hierarchy. This manages all of the business logic for all the channels, Twitch channels that this bot connects into. So what I'm going to do, right, I need to figure out why this isn't running. When the application restarts and I make that request into it, here, right, you can see, right, let me scroll up so you can see the restart happen. Right there, look at this. There's that same nobody does not provide happening. Let me keep scrolling up here. So here's the restart, right? This is, come on. We need to clean up some of these error messages, don't we, chat room? So there it is. So it's restarting the web server right here. It goes through all the stuff to recompile and rerun because a file changed. And that, right, this is a feature you can use on your own machine. And at this point, when it says now listening on, now the application is running. Now it's listening and sitting there and waiting for a connection. So we need to tell the channel manager actor something. Akka seems to have some sort of lazy initializing. Yes, Stelzy, it's right, lazy initializing. It's not starting immediately. It's waiting for something to make a request from it before it goes and does something. So what do? I don't know. We need to poke the bear, as it were. So that it can do something. Blazor Mr. Magoo, that's not a bad idea. I like, oh my gosh, this is a great suggestion. If we had a health check API, and this is common that you'll see inside of containers and other services, a health check API that says the state of the application. Is it currently running properly? instead of having our application just check, hey, can I get to this thing? If we had a health check API that would look at the actor system and make sure it's up and running and return an indicator that says whether it is running properly, or give it that kicked so that it does start, then we can have our widget properly reconnect and start over again. I still have to place the train appropriately on the screen when it does that refresh. But Robert Tables is here, and I completely agree. He's got the right idea here. We'll absolutely want to have a proper health check when this gets put inside of a Docker container so that we can notify any monitoring system that it's running properly. Yes. So, an actor health API. That's not a bad idea either. There you go. There's my GitHub. And this is called the Quiltoni Pixel Bot is where you can find this. So, if we add a health check API, it should help us with that Blazor reconnection, knowing when to reconnect and that it's safe to receive it. Good morning, TBD Gamer. Good to see you. So let's do that. Let's build a health check API that will return the state of the application appropriately. Now, ASP.NET Core, the framework that we're using for building this website, has a health checks API that we can use. I don't remember all the specifics about it. So let's grab the documentation real quick and let's see what we can do to turn on a actor system health API that will return the health of it. Every iActor ref has a watch method that tells you when an actor is down, says Stelzy. Okay, so we could check for our channel manager actor at the top. Make sure this thing is up and running, and say it right, Jeff.
And you blow it!
No, I didn't blow it. And then check the channel configuration actor, make sure that that's up and running, and return state appropriately. That'll work. I think we can do something with that.
And then?
Well, and now we need to write some sort of a health check that will do that. So ASP.NET Core, right? ASP.NET Core has a health checks feature that we can light up and use here. Health checks in ASP.NET Core. Here we go. So we can specify, here's a URL to expose for health checks, right? We can have a basic health probe, blah, 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 right? And return information. When that fails, create various health checks. Here, this is it. That will trigger and identify whether or not things are working properly. Fantastic. Fantastic. And you register those health checks. Let's do it. Let's add health checks to this. I love this idea, Stelzy. This is a great idea. And Robert Tables is spot on for saying we're going to want this when we're in a container. Because containers, you can wire up to the container information about where to check for the health of that container to make sure that it's running properly. And whether or not the orchestrator that's managing all of those containers, all those services, should route connections for you. Janeski, oh my goodness, thank you so much for the redemption. We're going to turn on a read-only live share here. Let's do it. I love it. Thank you so much, Janeski, for the redemption. 5,000 Fritz bits.
Wow.
Oh yeah, here we go. I will turn on live share right now so that anybody can tune in and join us. We're going to start the collaboration session. So for those of you that aren't familiar, if you're running Visual Studio Code or you're running Visual Studio 2019, I think you can also do it with 2017 with the extension installed as well. I don't want to stop. I want to make the session, I want to make it read-only. Where'd it go? There's a thing here to make this read-only. Where'd it go? Where is it? Read only. I don't see it. Where'd the live share deal go? It was like right here before. Configure settings. No, I don't want to go way down in here. Hey, Tim Von Monero. Hello. There is a cap on live share. Yes, 30 people can get in and wander around. Where the heck is it? Yeah. Collaborate, follow a guest, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's... The read-only button isn't up here. There was a button. Let me do this. Hit that again. Yeah. Cancel. Join. Start. Right. No. There was no thing to make it read-only. Hang on. Live share, read only. There's a read only button here. In the left bar, I went looking for it and it wasn't here. Configure settings. Right now I'm down in the weeds here. There was a button to do it, right? Guest limit is up to 30. Blah, blah, blah. See, No, that's not the thing. Thank you for the follow, Bottle Banana. Welcome. Right, session details. No. Right, and you can see comments. There's a list of 3 options. All right, hang on. So I will stop the live share. Right, so there's a thing here to join. Start the collaboration. I'm gonna if I click that, see, there's nothing popped up. There absolutely was a thing here to do it. I know! The third option? What third option? Oh, dear God. Woo! It's right there. I'm sorry. My bad. Wow. Wait for acrophobic pixie. Not a problem. All right, so I should have the collaboration link. If you want to join in, there's the link. I'm going to put that on the project command. Join. So I am making Blazor stateful and yeah, making Blazor stateful. Join the live share at, and there's the link. All right. So now you can join in. You can click through, and we'll. If you join with a Microsoft account, it will show your email address here. If you connect with a GitHub account, it'll show your GitHub ID there. But you should be able to click and join all the way through and get in on the live share here. So, waiting to see if folks are able to join. Should be able to get in there. So I'm going to add some, right? It's read-only into my bash terminal down here. Yeah. All right. There we go. There's some folks joining in. So I'm going to add some health checks here. And Stelzy had a point about lifecycle monitoring called the Death Watch. Okay, we'll take a look at that in a second. So let me start off by setting up a basic health probe. So inside of configure services, we say services add health checks, and we map health checks here. All right, so let's do that. So inside of startup, there we go. Now we can see some folks joining in. Hello, friends. All right, I am going to go over to my startup file. And you're welcome to wander around my application, see what there is to see in here. If there's questions you have about how things work, go ahead, navigate around, take a look at it. You're in read-only mode. You won't be able to change anything. So it's a code with 2 ends. Just copy paste it. Oh no! It lets you join as a guest without signing in. Yes, that is totally. I think that's been around for a little bit. Hey, Rocket Archer 2, greetings! Thanks so much for joining us. So that was services add health checks. I'm going to put that in this configure ASP.NET method that I put over here. That has some things about security, see, controllers, all these other things that we configure that are ASP.NET features. So I'm going to say services add health checks. There it is. So this allows it to register health checks. Good. We'll set up some of those in here in just a minute. I'll go back over to my startup. There it was. And down here at the bottom, when we set up the endpoints, right, there was a thing that I needed to add for endpoints.map health checks. I'm just going to copy that. And let's put it right there. And I call it routes in this case. Right, there we go. So now if you go to /health, you'll get the state of the application. And if I go back over to my terminal, because I made those changes, there we go, it's restarting the application. Now, I don't have full debug turned on so that folks can see back and forth what's going on there. But you'll be able to see this. Rocket Archer is a junior Unity developer and you want to watch a developer stream. Nice. Yeah, there are warnings in the console. There are. And here's that restart trying to get reconnected for the widget configuration. There are warnings that we can clean up later. I'm not too concerned about them. I'll refresh this and okay, that's working. So if I go to /health, I'll get healthy. That's fine for you and me, humans that are trying to read this. Hey, Frank, good to see you. Acrophobic Pixie's trying to get logged in. Fantastic. So, Rocket Archer, there are a bunch of other folks on the Live Coders team that are writing Unity code and building games. Click that Live Coders link just below the videos here, and you can see some of those other folks. I would recommend checking out folks like Lana Lux or Tim Bocheros, who are working on games using Unity, and they're just like all the other folks here on the Live Coders team. They're open to answering questions and giving folks pointers to get them on the right path to building and learning here on channel, here on Twitch. O Delta, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you joining us, and I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. Healthy's okay, fine. It's English. It works, right? I can kind of see what's going on there. Live share is open. It's read only. Execute the project command, and you can get the link to join in. Does that health check integrate to Azure Web App Monitor? It can, yes. I'm not going to pronounce that name, but thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate the follow. And we're a family-friendly channel here. I'm not going to show that name on screen. Okay. We want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to join and have a good time here. Thank you for the follow, Rocket Archer. That's not appropriate. All right. That's okay, Rocket Archer. We're gonna. I try to make it a point to speak slowly so that some of our friends who aren't English first speakers can pick up a little bit of what I'm saying here. There is closed captioning that you can click through, and hopefully that helps a little bit. So you can see it transcribe what I'm saying as we're going along. Yes, Lana Lux does game development streaming almost every day. All right. So health checks are available now. I want to register my own health check now that'll check the state of my actor system and report back whether or not it's healthy and running. Oh, Delta. Yes, there are closed captions on Twitch. Yep. I have a plugin that I use inside of OBS that generate closed captions off of my voice and transmits it. If you mouse over the video in the bottom corner here, kind of right about where my finger is, there's a little CC button that appears. Only if a broadcaster is broadcasting closed captions will you be able to click that and place those on the screen. There's a gear next to it as well here on Twitch. You can click that gear and it will allow you to format and place those captions appropriately. If you're watching this video on the archive over on the YouTube channel, you don't have these features. There is closed captioning here on YouTube, but you know how to turn them on. They've been here for a long time. What does the live share mean when it tells me X focused your attention? It means somebody requested you go to their location, right? Someone summoned you to their location inside the code to take a look at something. And you can drop comments inside the code for other folks to see, right? Inside Visual Studio Code, I can click here and start a discussion. Hey, this is where we want to add health checks. And folks can see the comments, see the discussion going on there inside of our code, back and forth within the live share so that we can discuss what's happening. Copper Beardy is requesting a different hat. Cashing in 5,000 Fritz bits. You get Fritz bits just for watching, for viewing, for being a follower. You get those little orange gears. You see them down below here. Janeski redeemed to turn on the read-only live share that these folks that you see on the left side there are tuned in and they're joining us here in Visual Studio Code. Copper Beardy, what hat do you want me to put on instead? My stream must be the most inclusive you've ever seen, says Odell. Oh my gosh. Oh, Delta, hang on. Let me put that up on screen. Oh, Delta. Congratulations worrying about these little details that make a lot of difference to many people. Thank you so much, O Delta. I really appreciate your kind words about that. I want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to learn here on Twitch. Not just on Twitch. Everybody has an opportunity to learn about technology. So yeah, I take a little bit of time going through and solving problems and working on things here, but everybody has an opportunity to ask questions. Everybody gets addressed, and hopefully you have some fun and you enjoy what we're talking about, what we're doing here on stream, because we want everybody to be able to tune in. Folks like maybe
I want rustlers, cutthroats,
sure,
murderers, bounty hunters, desperados,
those are
mugs, pugs,
no,
thugs,
no,
halfwits, dimwits,
well, okay,
snipers,
no.
Conmen, agents, bandits, muggers, buggerers, bushwhackers, horse-wagglers,
no,
horse thieves,
no,
train robbers, bank robbers,
no,
and Methodists.
Okay, Methodists are welcome, sure. Thank you, Headley Lamar, for that. I appreciate that. Yes, everybody's welcome. Even the Vipers and all that. That would be great for mob programming. Yes. Oh my gosh, it is. It's tremendous. There's no point in describing the complete chat audience. No, there isn't. All right, let's have some fun here. Let's get back in here because
strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
Yeah. Automod didn't like your volunteering. No, Smab picked. Thank you, Smab. I appreciate you shipping in there. You know what? There we go. All right. So we've added health checks. Let's actually define a health check now for going through and checking the state of this. So we're going to create a health check class that'll check our actor system and make sure that it's running so that our widgets know that it's okay to connect. So public class example health check health check. All right, let's see what that does. So I'm going to come back over here. Let me go back into the files. Let's create a new file. I just have a... Yes? There are other bits of that audio sample that I really should bleep. Yeah, I did. I bleeped a lot of that. Oh yes, what was the hat change? Copper Beardy, did you suggest? I was looking for it. Something blue. Something blue. You're asking for something blue. Please hold while I go get a blue hat for Mr. Copper Beardy. Stand by. Penn State, T. Tutco. Well, I'm not going to do the Azure hat. Is that Gan D988? Thank you for the follow. 1 second. Let me go get a blue hat here. There's a thing. Okay. How's that? There's something blue. There you go. Got the super C# hat on. Hang on, let me zoom in there a little bit. I think Copper Beardy would approve of this one. Look at that. Yeah. That's the right hat to wear. Stormfist68 says, "We are Penn State." Thank you. All right, everybody, rubber duck under the tables. Absolutely. Hey, Svava. There was use of a word that could mean a description of an act that is not family appropriate that is still there. I'll double check on that, Simon. Let me know. Drop me a whisper, and I'll double check on that. Ordered your Super C# shirt for your .NET Conf treasure hunt gift. Thank you for participating, T-Hunt. T-Tutco. The Penn State chant is amazing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. When you're in that building with 100,000 people and they start the "We Are Penn State" chant, let me tell you, it is amazing. I don't care whether you whether you're a Penn State fan or not. Hearing 100,000 people chanting the same thing is incredible. Lambda? What Lambda? Okay, so we're going to start defining this health check. Let's add a new file here, and let's call this actor. That's not it. Actor system health check. .cs. Let's create this class. Here we go. We've taken way too much time here. I'm going to create inside of this namespace services. Let's do it. This is a public class. Actor system health check. Good. Okay. And this is going to implement iHealth check. Was that right? iHealth check? Yep. So I've got the red squigglies because I don't have a using statement. We'll bring that in. I'll control dot again because I need to implement this interface, right? The interface defines a contract that this class must adopt in order for us to properly behave as a health check object. Brave Cobra asks, when are we going to do the Pixelbot rename, or is that going to be off screen? I don't know. So we've been renaming this slowly to Fritzbot from Pixelbot. This application is a wide-ranging bot now that spans a lot more than the original Pixelbot that Brave Cobra and I worked on for our friend Quiltoni. We can do this on stream. I want to get on the other side of this minimum viable product, and this last bit here with getting that state to persist is my last hook that I want to cross before I can say, let's release it. Let's release it to the world. I can make this class a receive actor. Well, it's not registering inside of the actor system. This is being fired from way outside the actor system and being pinged here. Yeah, we need to get rid of that Q&A answer. You're right. Pittsburgh, yeah. Pittsburgh is obsessed with Penn State. It's a thing. Blah, 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 blah. What are we in right now? What do you mean, what are we in, Aikido? Out of process. Yes, we're outside of the actor system. The actor system is this stack of classes that all interact with each other. So we're building a health check that will report the state of the actor system so we can appropriately indicate that to our widgets and our asynchronous, our web components that are trying to maintain a proper connection to a running service. The Brave Cobra. Yep. The health check should be used by the infrastructure to check whether the bot is allowed to be called. Yeah. So we're going to, the widgets, if they can't call the bot, if they can't interact with it, will kind of go dormant on the client side. They'll just kind of go quiet for a little bit and check to see when they can finally reconnect. After a certain amount of time, we're going to have to put up a message that says, we're offline. But we can try to get them to reconnect by reaching in and getting the information back from this to indicate, hey, there's something there and you can reconnect and work. We do need to make the knowledge base smarter, yes, that the bot bounces off of. So we're going to get some context, and there's a cancellation token that we can hit here as well. I think we want to receive into this, though, on the constructor, right? So this is actor system health check. We're going to want to receive an iActor ref, which will be the channel manager actor. Right, this is the top of the hierarchy. So I'll be able to receive this. I'll put it into a field. I really like my fields that are going to be private like this to have an underscore capital. Like that. Good. So now what I can do is I can check to see the state of that. First off, is it a thing? And
then?
If it is a thing, does it have my configuration in it?
And then?
Is it properly running?
And then?
Return an appropriate healthy, unhealthy status for it.
And then?
And then I'm going to go back over to chat here. I'm going to answer Akito's question. Is this Akka? Yes. This is Akka. Ratcha08 asks a very good question here. Let me scroll up and grab that real quick. What is Akka.net in one sentence? Akka.net is an implementation of the actor model that lets us build an application that will manage state of objects and the capabilities of those objects across threads, hosts, and machines, and even data centers with clustering capabilities turned on. In this way, we'll be able to build this bot and be able to manage different channels on different threads without them impacting each other. They're completely isolated. So that's what Akka.net gives us, this managed infrastructure for us. No connection with the bot should result in an HTTP status degraded. Completely agreed. Yes. A messaging... Akka isn't necessarily a messaging queue Bluetooth. It does use a messaging queue in its internal infrastructure. True. So... Akka.net is essentially a .NET implementation of agent-oriented programming. Actor programming. Yes. So, An inbox pattern. It has that pattern. It implements that. Yes. There we go. Okay. So the health check that it's going to do here. Yes, John Skeet can divide by 0. That's right, Evil Face George. You didn't know that, but he can. He's just that good. And now Acrophobic Pixie's going to start saying, "Who's John Skeet?" Why did I get a attention? Yep, that's right. All right. So the health check. Each actor has an inbox and should live inside an actor system. Yes, that's right. You're just trying some of the commands? Okay, that's fine. So the health check that we're going to do here. Oops, go back over to here. So we need to return a health check result with some information if we'd like. That's fine. But when we added health checks, we need to add this new health check. So let's do that, and we'll come back and fill this out. So add check under add health checks inside of... So let me go back. Where was it? I don't see it here. I think I closed it. Configure ASP.NET. Right? Ah, there it is. Add health checks. Yes. Dot add check. All right. So I'll delete that and add check. There we go. And there was a type that I could put on this, and it was actor system health check. There it is. Fantastic. And I can give it a name. Okay. Actor system health check, so that it'll appear in any kind of monitoring system there. So I imagine that the actor system health check would take an actor system actor and would be able to send a message to the system and hopefully get a response. Exactly, Aikido. Exactly. Yes, yes. Let me put that up so that folks understand that this is exactly what we're going to end up doing here. Yes. We're going to receive an actor in here. That's right. So we're going to receive the top level actor, make sure that it exists, send a message, and hopefully get a response. And that'll tell us whether or not the actor system is live. If it is live, then I'll return a healthy state. If it isn't, I'll return a degraded state. And we'll go. So, focusing my attention. Where are you focusing my attention to? I'm going to start writing that right in here. Who's this up here? Guest user. All right, here we go. So, let me clear that. So, I want to call channel manager. Come on. There it is. And right there was now I don't know. One second. There was here. Let's look at this. So Stelzy sent us this link to be able to do a, where is it? A death watch. So we could see, here we go, lifecycle monitoring. In order to be notified when another actor terminates, an actor may register itself for reception of a terminated message dispatched by the actor. Well, I'm not necessarily asking for a terminated message, but context.watch. This is the only call needed for registration. I might need to get the actor system so that I can receive that context message. Kate's has a very, very good point here. We should absolutely have the health check return response code 418. I'm a little teapot.
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
You don't. It's a teapot. It's not a website, it's a teapot.
It's alive!
Right. That's what we want to tell it. So I don't really want to receive actor on this. I'm thinking. So if we receive the actor system, we just want to be able to reach out, right? Not the, right? If I go back over here, configure the actor model, right? Down here. So the actor system, I can actually get the actor system directly and take a look at that. No bananas. I don't know what you're talking about. If I receive that, then I can actually reach into the channel manager actor. I'll have a context that I could work with, right? The system? Do this, and I'm going to rename this to actor system. So I should be able now to get a context, right? No, I can't get a context. What? And I can't watch from here either. Okay. When terminated, returns a task which will be completed after the actor system has been terminated. No, I'm not terminating it. I think I just want to reach in and see if I can get an actor, get the actor. Fresh Life, sure, you can do that. Now, I don't think I want this. I think that's too much. Oops. Wait a sec. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. So, right, I think my first check is going to be if channel manager actor equals null. We're going to return a health check result. What? Health check result dot. What do you mean? Where does it get healthy? Health check result dot healthy. Is that a thing? Am I just missing? Is there an extension or something that I'm missing there? Oh, look at you. No. That needs to be a task. Task. From result. Oh, wait a sec. It's not context. Now I get healthy. I tell you. And it's a method. But it's unhealthy. Right? Degraded. Actor system is not currently available. Okay, so if there is no channel manager actor, we got a problem. Unhealthy. Degraded. Yeah, thank you, Blazor, Mr. Magoo. Okay, that moment when you start having a panic attack is you think you've run out of coffee. I've got G Fuel today. It's pretty good. That was the end of my snow cone. Oh no, I'm out of snow cone flavor now. Okay, so now I also want to check to see if I can get the configuration capability out of there. So channel manager, I'm in the wrong window. Over here. The channel manager actor object, no. You're not going to find that, are you? Are you, fella? Get my using statement. No. Where was it I got the... I have a way that I can reference and pull the channel configuration. There it is. Bot configuration channel. Right, so bot configuration. This is a public class that's being passed around. So I should be able to inject that also, right? That's being injected here somewhere? Somewhere. Where is it? No. Oh, it's a static string, that's why. All right. So I'm going to grab that same location, and I'm gonna have to reach into actor system still. Okay, well, then I'll need one of those. Because actor system isn't a thing here yet. I don't have that. I gotta put the thing back in. Right? So now I've got one of those. Create the field. Come on. I've written too much code. What is the difference between application insights and health checks? Asks Crows. Application insights is a feature on Azure. Health checks is a generic feature that's available across many different services and hosting providers. Come on. Yep, give me that using statement. So now it's going to try to go get one. So that would be the configuration, trying to get a bot configuration object. So now, if config equals null, return task from results, health check result, degraded. Well, this, I think this should actually be unhealthy. This is degraded. Configuration is not available yet. Okay. Otherwise, let's return health check results. Healthy. So we're checking, does our active system run? Is it degraded because we don't have access to the configuration bit? Can channel manager actor ever be null? Yes, if it's not able to resolve one of these, it'll pass null into it. So. Healthy. There we go, like that, right? Task from results. And there we go. So that should now work here. Let that restart. We should be able to poke into that. Should you check if actor system is null? Can do that. Sure. Do we know that bots aren't accessible? We don't know that. We can do additional checks on those. Definitely. So let's go here. So now that says healthy, which means it was able to step through and do all the things. And that, right, that all the bot things are running. This should have refreshed and been connected with all of what it needs. So now that I've got this, right, this connected and it's now working, and I can reset where this is going for data to that health location and have it check to make sure that it gets a healthy comment coming back so that it does the health check appropriately. Right? Do you follow what I'm saying here? Of course you are. Of course you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. I don't want to fetch the empty location here. I want to go to /health, because then it'll check to see if the word healthy comes back. So when it does fetch on that, right, it's returning a promise for the response. So I want to check the response to make sure that it is healthy. Right? So if I wrap this like this, right, can't I, right, body? How do I look at the content of that? Is it text? It's text. Right? So let's say if that text equals healthy, location reload. Do we know that the bot, if you stop the bot now, you should get it degraded as well? Yes. Should it not better check for 200 okay? Well, if that fetch comes back with anything other than 200, it fails. Right? That's false. It'll just crash out at that point. Right? So I'm still getting healthy over here. Let's force the bot to restart. Let me also... Where's the widget? There's the widget. Let me restart that so it's got the latest JavaScript. If the actor system is busy, you won't be able to get a response in the amount of time, even if it's alive. That's okay. Alright, so now let me come back to my terminal and let's force this. Right, let's force, right, a bad scenario here. Let's make it, I'll go over here and I'll just add a space somewhere.
Hey, listen.
Hang on, I hear you. So there you go, it's coming back and say, oh, things are happening here. Right? If I go over to the health, right, unable to connect. So I'm getting, right, I'm not able to connect yet. Right? It's restarting the application. And now it's healthy. It's able to find the thing. So this, that looks like it's connected. What do we got there? Isn't that going to reload a health app every 10 seconds? Or did I miss you canceling the set timeout? Good question. It will only connect and hit the health when it's disconnected. It disconnects the observer and attempts to reload. When it finally does get healthy, it reloads and the mutation observer connects and starts watching to see if it will, if it's appropriately getting an update. Then there's no need to check for the text. Is it duplicate or... So the degraded stance, right? Unhealthy, right? If it'll return, it's a not 200 for that. The degraded state here is a 200 okay that it returns. Yeah, the reload resets. You're right, Blazor, Mr. Mirgo. Yep. So I think we're okay with that now. So the last thing that I'm looking at here is it does the location reload, right, to kind of force this to restart. And you can see here, right, failed to complete negotiating with the server. Error. And it finally got back and it restarted. Right, I can scroll down here. Network error when attempting to fetch did it ever get connected? It should have. It didn't refresh the page. So now if I force the page to refresh, okay, that popped up. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. So let's look at the full picture as this happens when I reset the server. I'm going to pull that down so we can see the little bit that pops up here, my override. So I will force the server to restart. Right, so I'm going to just put a space in here somewhere. It doesn't matter. Right, so it's trying to reconnect, and it's making those reconnect attempts. That's faster than every 10 seconds. But while it's trying to do that reconnect, right, it's still rebuilding over here. Right, now it's there, right, executed health checks. So it should have gotten that healthy response back, and it didn't do anything. Right? There, every 10 seconds it's hitting that health checks. So what's the text it got back? Does location reload work, or does Blazor's client-side JavaScript intercept it? Can you try it manually from the console? Yeah, I can absolutely do, right? Location dot, come on, location dot reload, and bang, it reloaded. But it didn't actually detect it, right? It didn't properly detect the health state change. I think there's something wrong with my JavaScript. I've got cables in front of, there we go. Need some cable management here. Okay, so it's fetching that. What's it returning? Yep, let's console. I agree, Blazor, Mr. Magoo. Let's equals await fetch health dot text. It's either text or text. Oh, wait a sec. Look, that should be text. That's a method. Right. Okay. Right. Console log result. Let's see what that does. So I can refresh this, which will get me a fresh copy of that JavaScript. And let's kick the server. You know what? I could do this just as easily by doing that, and push that back up here. So far, nothing. Network error normalizing. Right, it's up and running. It just fetched the health check. Right, where was it? There you go. Promise, state pending. I put an await on that. It's still pending. I'm doing something wrong with that await fetch. Or is it... No. So I'm getting a pending on the promise. This is what's going on. I think I need a dot then. Yes. Right? Dot then. No, see? So do I do it like that? The text returns a promise also. Oh. I need that. Right? So this should be a string at that point, right? Yeah, really, it is a dot and then. Do I have that right? Is my JavaScript right there, friends? Right? JavaScript fetch. Yes, 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 I did. Await the await. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you joining us. Right, what's this need to look like? Right, fetch dot then. Async and await. And await fetch. So then we'll have the response. So we could say response dot then. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Right? That's a thing. Right, so if we say var result equals this, right, then result equals response.text. Is that the syntax I'm looking for? Is it returning plain text or JSON? Plain text. Dot then result dot text. Well, hang on. Let me just use R. So that I can then say result equals R dot text. Is that a thing? Yeah, okay. I think I've got it there. Hey, Copper Beardy, thank you for the host. Yeah, I think you're right. I've got a issue there as well. There's one extra out there. There we go. So now it'll log the result. I think that's right now. Let's refresh that. I need another then on the call to text. Are you kidding? Ugh! Dear Lord. Okay. Right, because that should be a string at that point? Yeah. Drop all the then stuff, just use the waits. Alright, hang on. Yeah, okay. For response equals await fetch. Result equals await response.text. Like that. And there's even a suggestion there to... Yeah. Alright. So I'll refresh that, hard refresh that. There we go. I'll knock over the server. So now it's attempting to reconnect. Server is restarting, right? We can watch the server restart down here. But it's going to try, it's trying to reconnect. Put. Come on. There it goes. And it got reconnected properly. Fantastic. All right. I want to try and have it do a Blazor reconnect if possible. We're almost there. Almost. If the result is healthy, location reload. Let's try and do window.blazor. Right, it was window.blazor.reconnect. Was that it? No, it wasn't there. Over here. It's alive. Oh, yes. Yes, yes.
It's alive!
Nope, not the Aka bit that we were looking at. It was in that other here. Window.blazor.reconnect. Let's try to do that. Okay. So here, previously we had that. And let's replace it with this. So we're saying window, Blazor connection, reconnect. And we'll see if that actually gets reconnected properly. So I'll refresh so we get the new version of the JavaScript. There it is, up and running, all connected. I'll kill the server, restart it. Hey, Nick Larson, happy Sunday indeed. URVice asks, is my Ubuntu VM running in Azure, or did I get it? How did I get it so snappy? It's running locally with Hyper-V. I've just allocated a whole bunch to it. All right. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so it's logging healthy, and it looks like it's reconnected. It's still right. I'm still getting the every 10 seconds thing over here, and it's right. It's reconnecting. Okay, that's solvable. We might be onto something here with getting this to work. We might be onto something. I configured it on stream, URVice. If you look at my first streams from this month, they're over on the YouTube channel. You'll see how I configured the Hyper-V that I'm using here. I went through a little bit of problems getting it set up, but by the second stream, we were up and running and doing well. Mida Venum says, healthy and not connected. Yeah, I need to tell the mutation observer, okay, you can start connecting again, right? This here, observer disconnect, I can tell it start observing again. So I think I want to put this mutation observer inside of a function so that after the reconnect happens, go start watching again. And break this set interval here, right? So if let's put a thing out there for that. Let's call this and I can also put this back inside of in IIFE, right? So let's call this reload interval. So it's just out there, right? Reload interval equals that. So when this happens, right? So now I'll create this function and let's hide this so it's inside of a namespace. Right, it's protected. It's not out there on the public. Check in with a working version before hacking on it more. Well, it's not entirely working, right? It's still hammering that health check location yet. Oh, come on, I didn't say the word. You didn't need to hit that. So down, I'm going to leave that commented right now. What I'm going to do is say window.clear interval reload interval. Okay. So I can get rid of the window there. And if I put this inside of a function, watch Blazor disconnect. That's not how you spell disconnect. Right, so if I do something like that. Okay. So I can call it down here so that it runs as soon as it starts. Clear the interval and start watching again. I think that'll do it. I think that'll do it. Look at that, connection disconnected. All right, here we go. So it's out there, it's running. Let me go to my other Firefox browser, this one, and let's put some entries here on the train. Blazor Mr. Magoo. Right, it doesn't matter what names I put over here, right? It could be whatever. Right, okay. So I've got a couple train cars hanging out there. Good. Let's kill it. So we're at 4 is the count. Okay, kill it. There's the thing it's trying to reconnect. Restart. It's not going to position the train correctly, but the number will be up there. Right, this should go away when it gets reconnected. There it is, did the health check. Healthy. It should stop with the... No, it didn't. It's still checking every 10 seconds instead of... I mean, it's connected. WebSocket connected. Boom. And it's actually connecting a lot of times here. That's a problem. Right? I think I want to move this up here because it's not clearing the interval. It's still going. This is why you use braces. Well, yeah. Add Blazor to my dictionary. It's almost there. It's almost there. Right, so it actually still remembers even across the refresh. That's pretty cool. Kill the server. Reconnect. Right, it should clear the interval and start monitoring again. Right? There, it's reconnected. Healthy, healthy, healthy. It's still trying every 10 seconds. No, now it's even more aggressive. Where is the reload interval? Yeah. There we go. Thank you for the follow. R Noir one? Thank you. The reload interval is... Right, I have it way out here. I put it there. So it's available to us here. Right? Thank you for the follow, Bossman XP. Welcome, Bossman. Good to see you. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. This might be a Stone Age question, but doesn't clear interval only work if you name the initial interval during set? Yes, it's right there. So clear interval. There's the handle right there. So it should wipe it out. Test time's in. Welcome. Do you sub it again when it returns and it has connected? Well, the mutation observer is now going to start watching the Reconnect node, this components connect modal. Has that changed? Well, if it had changed, it would start this. It would say this was modified. And we're not seeing that. And we're not seeing the detected disconnect. We're seeing it log healthy. Right? Oh, okay, we got it. So clear the interval, right? Wipe that out. This should work. Should... Let me take this out of here so that we can interact with it directly. Oh, you dog. Put console log after line 17. Oh, wait a sec. It'll attempt to do the reload, and it hasn't set the interval yet. We should attempt to set the interval after it attempts to do the reload. Or first. Try it in 10 seconds. And try it right now. Try that. You could always have attempt reload call itself after a delay instead of repeating it. Maybe. JF. Oh boy. J. Ficara Harvard. Welcome. Appreciate you joining us. Okay, so it's hanging out there. Let's kill the service, and notice it reset. So we will restart. We should see this kick over and reconnect, and hopefully stop appropriately. Did I switch to Linux for the month? This is what we call Ubuntober. It's a way for us to try out Ubuntu during the month of October and experiment and have some fun. So healthy, and it... Nope, still connecting every 10 seconds. 19, right there. So even though I told it clear interval, it's not clearing it. Why not? It's not resetting it, but it's clearly not, right? If I say clear interval and I pass it the reload interval, it should stop. No. Go away. It's still doing it. What's the state on this thing? Components reconnect rejected. It didn't... Hang on. Let's look here. Let's scroll down here. It's trying to reconnect, it's trying to reestablish the service. Blazor disconnect. Not clear. Thank you for the follow. Hold a candle to. Did the rainbow beard ever happen? It's going to happen at Dev Intersection in about 4 weeks. Yes. We will have the rainbow beard. Oh, yes, indeedy do. It will be a thing. I think I need to do the location reload. because that Blazor Reconnect isn't getting reconnected. Which means I'll need to write a whole nother service. I have to set the interval to a variable name. That name is what I pass in. Right, so here, take a look over here. Look at here. Right, I set it here to this variable. Right, set interval returns a number. I put it into this reload interval variable. And down here, I call clear interval on it. Julio Barino, hello. The moment when a code base gets complicated enough to appear to have a sentence and start behaving in a way you never imagined it would and don't understand. The joy of programming. Yes. Yes. I should have put that from Simon up on screen here. There you go. Yeah. Plymrix. Everybody loves the rainbow bearded Clippy. Am I the guy on Dotnet Rocks? I've been a guest on Dotnet Rocks. I'm not one of the hosts, but I've been on Dotnet Rocks a number of times, yes. When building portfolio projects to find .NET work, should I build it in core or framework? I would build with .NET Core at this point. Folks are going to want to see the new things that you can do. I think I should just do the location reload here and be done with it. You think after reconnect it'll call the above function again, which starts the interval. Well, hang on, it doesn't start the interval because there is no mutation. The interval starts after it'll detect the disconnect and attempt to reconnect. Could there be multiple mutations, each setting a separate set interval? Could be. But after the first mutation is detected, it disconnects. It stops. Simple fix, call attempt reload, then have that use set timeout to call itself. That's not bad. That's not bad. Get rid of this. So, right, if it's this, Blazor Reconnect, I don't need to clear interval. Return. Stop there. Otherwise, set timeout, this, attempt reload, and we'll let it go for 10 seconds. So now, this does the attempt reload, and if it doesn't get anything, try to restart in 10 seconds. So there it is. We're all connected. Let's clobber the server. It's clobbering time. Okay. So reconnecting. And that is, it was just changed to rejected. Did you see that? The connection attempt was rejected. Cannot send data if the connection is not in the connected state. The class was modified. Look at that. Attempted to reconnect. The class was modified again. Attempted to reconnect. Yeah. WebSocket connected. But it says that it was rejected here. But that sure looks like it's connected again. So if I try to do one of these, yeah, it's not connected. It's not properly receiving that information. Right? Yeah. I think I need to do the location reload because it isn't properly connecting and getting the state. So while that would have been great, I think I just need to do that. Ooh. There it is. Now it's connected. And try and do a thing. There's that. Oh, there was succotash. And we'll put Snoopaloopy in there. There we go. All right, so we've got a couple of those. Kill this. Restart it. But you can only reconnect if the server circuit is still active, can't you? The reload would need to be after a back-end restart. Yes. Yep. So it's restarting. It should get back that healthy status and say, oh, I'm going to restart. I'm going to refresh the widget. It should do that any second now. Right? I don't think I got the updated JavaScript that has that. Doing location reload. Okay, it's reloaded. Kill it. Restart it. Let's see it get back all connected. Yeah, the server circuit, right? That's the connection that's giving me the two-way information here. Is down and it's not reconnecting properly here. So it didn't reload. WebSocket connected. It didn't. Now I'm confused. Let me put that set interval back in up here. Because the set timeout doesn't matter anymore. Right. Attempt the reload every 10 seconds. Because if this fails, it'll never go back and do the... Yeah. Reload this. Right, we're not seeing the healthy message reported at all. There it goes. So, kill the server, restart it. And until it gets healthy coming back, it won't recycle. There, it just recycled itself. Bang. And now it's running again. Terrific. So we've got a slight blip. Yeah, I think you're right, Blazor, Mr. Magoo. The fetch was erroring and not resetting it. I could have put a try catch around that. Could have. But that works pretty good. We can optimize that later so that it clears up more cleanly, right? So cancel it, restart it. Woo. What happened there? That's a problem. That's a real problem. right? What happened there? Killed the server, restarted it. Was there something happened? Reloaded, there it is. So we still have to reposition the train properly so that it's going across and it resets appropriately, right? And I also need to reset the UI timer so that it properly picks up and starts the countdown again. Right now the timers are all offline when it gets reloaded, right? Do that one more time. Bang, look at that. I killed it and it's still, right? Look at that. It still executed that health check and said, oh, it's here. Refresh. Well, but it was gone, right? Look at that. Application is shutting down, and it still returned healthy on those. No, so that's actually, right, it behaved properly. We're in a race condition is what I'm seeing happening here, right? We killed the server. It finished returning a health check information as it was dying that indicated that it was healthy. There must be a better way. This seems like such a fun... I agree. But we're very early in this technology. You know, you're... Can the health check... That's a good question there, Blazor Mr. Magoo. One moment. All right. Should the health check be vegetarian? Can the health check test for shutting down? It should be. It should be able to test whether it's shutting down, right? See, now it's not going to get it because the bot isn't technically running yet. And there it is running again. How can they test if it's shutting down? How can it test if it's shutting down? That's a really good one. Inject the iApplication lifetime? Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Okay. Why isn't it like that? It's obsolete. This type is obsolete and will be removed in a future version. Is I host application life. Fine. What don't you like about that? Use this one? Fine. So before we look at any of the channel any of the actor stuff, if application stopping, Task from result. Health check. Result. Unhealthy. Right? What? That's a cancellation token. Okay. Is cancellation requested? No. Wait a sec. What? Is set? Simon says, maybe there's a pattern from the progressive web app service worker space around offline support that would fit here. Not something I've worked with. You might be onto something there, too. Why is... My application lifetime... Let's take a look at that. I host application lifetime. Give me a link to where it, yeah, link that. It's not there. Womp womp. Nope. Nope. Am I using Ubuntu? Yes, I am. Yep. It's under application stopping, and it returns, it's a cancellation token. Right, so I want to check to see if it's been, right, if it's been set. Is cancellation requested? Right? I think that's what I want. So there it goes restarting. Right there. Ooh, look at that. That's actually kind of what I want to see there, isn't it? Thank you for the follows. File, BR, and Hispanic Trap God. Okay. Welcome. There it goes. It just refreshed. And there it is. Okay. So if I kill it... Right? I didn't catch it properly there while it was... Right? That race condition. So that'll reconnect and refresh. After 10 seconds. Bang, there it is, refreshed, and there's the website. Okay. Kill it, restart it. See that it didn't, I didn't catch it there that time. And now it's kind of hanging. Isn't that cancellation token just to allow the prevent shutdown, so you only need to hook the event, not handle, so there was no event. Right? An application stopping is a cancellation token. Right? I can listen for when it is canceled. So it's not entirely clear. Hang on, go back to the terminal. Kill it. Yeah, see, it didn't make the request that time. In this case, checking for the cancellation requested. Okay. What if I really kill the server and not terminating it cleanly? Well, yeah, I am killing the server. That is what's going on there, right? When I hit Control-C, it kills the server. It's dead. The question is it getting that request in to check for the health check? And it was able to do that. Nah, rewind the video. Look back. I was hard killing it, and it was able to get that check in, right? If we look at the source code here, when it does, it attempts the reload immediately and then waits 10 seconds to try again. Right, so there it is. It's there running. Yeah, it didn't make the request again. Kick it back off, and we're up and running. Yeah, I'm doing Control-C. Thank you for the follow. Good Alex. Appreciate you joining it. Pars said, I agree. It looks like it is handling it properly from the client. So it's up and running. It did the health check, got back a healthy statement, refreshed the page. We're good. It's a little bit. So I think we're in good shape to commit this and move this out. We still have to restore the state of where the actual train is going across the screen, right? If I put a couple of folks on here as followers, I'll put Parset on the list, sure. Right? We'll put Matt's 4. There you go. All right, so now we've got a couple cars in there. Right, it's going to start inching across the screen, and this goes towards the general problem that we're having about getting the position of the animation correct. That's something I want to bring in a CSS expert to help with here. When I cancel that, right, the animation continues. Right? I haven't interrupted the behavior of the widget. Good. Good. Before it was interrupting it, right? We got the gray screen, didn't do anything. But now when it reruns, and it finally gets reconnected, right? And that train would go all the way into and dock in our train house there at the end, the 4. But when it gets reconnected now, right there, it did the health check, and it's reloading, and we get the 4 back. There's a blip, right? We see it go away for just a few seconds while it's reloading. Not terrible. But we need to put the train back in position properly because we're resuming state. So we need to represent that. Is there a way to delay shutdown until a health check has been requested? I think that's a bad idea. So what we're working on, this is a distributed chatbot, Mats, that will connect to multiple channels using ASP.NET Core and Blazor. And in particular, we have this follower train widget that we're showing here that will appropriately, there it goes, that will appropriately show this train going across the screen, but when the server goes away, we want it to continue with that widget operating. For right now, I think for that task we have above us, finish the Blazor reconnection. We have it reconnecting. We still need to put together something here. I think it's... we need to put together something here for restore the state of the train. I think we need to figure that out still. That's too small. Restore, let's say restore the train state. Right? We need to actually position it properly so that it'll go across the screen. But I think we're, no, not cancel. I think we're done that one. I think we got that done. Let's deploy this to Azure. I'm pretty happy that it's doing what we need it to do. So I have that. Let's add those things. Added health checks and detect to detect actor system up. Cool. Now I'm in a different branch here called feature reconnect. That's okay. I'm going to push that out to my GitHub and pull it into the appropriate branch over here. So let me go to GitHub, and I'm going to particularly rebase and get rid of this branch. Okay. So I'm going to create a pull request. I'm going to push this into my dev branch. Yep, able to merge. I'm going to push it into dev. So reconnect, create the pull request. So this is here's the things that I was working on. It's trying to build this right now over in Azure DevOps. I know it builds. But what I'm going to do, I'm not just going to merge the pull request. I'm going to rebase. Because I'm going to delete this branch. Rebase says take those two, make it into one commit, and commit it to this. So yes, confirm the rebase. So now that's in my dev branch for feature reconnect. Okay, and I'm going to delete the branch. All right. So now I'll go back over to pull requests. Okay. And if I actually look at my code, you see it's building right now. I can open that up on Azure DevOps and we can watch. We're just about to ship it. Yes, indeed. A service worker or an offline state manager might be a really good way to do this. You think a Blazor Reconnect NuGet package would be a nice output from this? I agree. And this is actually something that the Blazor folks are talking about already. I was on the phone with Dan Roth on Friday talking... Friday afternoon talking about this. Friday evening, my time. We got pretty close there. Thank you for the help there, Smep. Appreciate the assistance, moderating. So it's going to do the restore, and we should get this. I want to make sure that this builds properly. When it does, I'll put the pull request into the master branch, and we will push that out. Yeah, seriously, dude. We don't need any racism here on the channel. That's not cool. There we go. Doing the build. Guest workshop on PWA and Blazor would be very valuable content. I think we're still a bit early in the process. Here we go. Bunch of warnings. I really should. If somebody wants to come through and try and eliminate the warnings that are output here, that'd be a really great pull request. We can do. There's a NuGet package for PWAs and Blazor. Gee, Blazor, Mr. Magoo. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, do you? It's a really cool package. All right, there we go. Yep, it built, it published. So let's... Everything ran through properly. We should see that turn over to green here in just a second. Yep, everything's green. So I'm going to put together one more pull request so we redeploy the application all the way out to Azure. I'm going to push this instead to master. Yep, these can automatically be merged. You can see all the changes that I have there. So yes, create that pull request. And tidying up... now automatically reconnecting when server is restarted. And that's, I feel like this is something that would become part of Blazor in the future. Would become part of that feature set. You see, I even had something that broke back there. So, I'm not going to rebase and merge. I am going to create a merge commit, merge it, yes, do it. Which will kick off one more build. Which will build the container and deploy it out to the production space. There you go. So this is going to pull it together, and we'll end up with a new... If I click over here, we'll end up with a new release of the package. Right here. It won't be 957, it'll be something else. But it's building the Docker image right here, so we get that container deployed. And this should finish up pretty quickly. There we go. Downloading newer images. There's the working directory. I got the bottom of the G Fuel there where all the mix had settled. Ugh. When CI/CD works, it really is great. Yes, it is. It's amazing when your continuous integration works properly. So this should be finishing up in just a few seconds. And I'm going to mark that as done. So we still have to figure out how to restore the train state. That shouldn't be too bad, right? Restoring the train state is just going to be position it appropriately on screen and restart the timer. Should be able to do that. Here we go. What happened? Come on, refresh. Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
Well, do your best.
Yeah, do your best, Azure DevOps. Do your thing. Let's go. Take care, Blazor Mr. Magoo. Have a good one. That's not right. Yep, go. It's like it all of a sudden just, the brakes were put on Azure DevOps. It got about, through downloading and restoring all these things, and all of a sudden, right, hang on, all of a sudden, so, there it is. There we go. I got some DLLs out. There we go. Now it's pushing it out to the repository. All right.
It's alive!
Yeah. AshDev, thanks so much for the host. We're going to get ready, though, and we're going to call it a day here because we got deployed. Thank you for the follow, D-Nixter. Welcome. Appreciate you following. So that should be not 957. We should see. There it is, 966. We got it. Jadlers, thank you for the follow as well. We got it. It works. It deployed. It's out there. And you should be able to get to it by going to fritzbot.net. There it is. It's running. It's available. So folks can go to it, and it'll properly restart. It just won't start the timers and reposition the train appropriately when I restart the service. The Microsoft-hosted Azure DevOps build agent is tortoise slow. Self-hosted agent in the virtual machine is fine. There you go. Look at that. There's the gray screen because it just deployed a new version. The container. There's the new version of the container. I'd love to get the version number to appear down here at the bottom. Chucky Chuck, thank you for the follow. So, friends, I'm pretty happy with where we are here, and I'm ready to set up a raid. See if we can send some folks to another live coder here. Or maybe somebody, maybe a friend. You know what? Can I do that? Oh my gosh. You know what? we gotta raid someone here who is indeed working in JavaScript. Let's set up the raid and let's go read. Thank you for the boom boom. Thank you for the raid call. Let's head over to go see our friend. He's another live coder. We're gonna go see Talk to Me Gooseman. I don't get to raid Gooseman all that often, but I want to make sure we support him. He's doing some work with JavaScript, working with chat. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thanks for joining the live share that we were running today. Everybody who tuned in and jumped over to live share. That was a lot of fun. I'm going to end that right now. And I hope you get ready. Copy the line appropriately for you out from the Fritz bot. If you're a subscriber, grab this first line. If you're not, that's okay. Grab the second line, put it on your clipboard, get ready to go say hi to Gooseman. All right, friends. I'll be back on Tuesday. Tuesday, I've got a guest from Actian. We're going to be talking about the Zen database. All right? So I hope you join me then Tuesday morning at my regular time. We'll be back, like I said, talking about the Actian Zen database. All right? Take care and get ready to say hi to Talk to Me Gooseman. We'll see ya.